Good morning. Welcome to Friday. Hi, Eve. And a very, very, very warm Friday. Having a bit of a heat wave here. So if you can hear the fan in the background, I apologise for that, but I'm not turning it off. Hi, Maria. Hi, Sue. Hi, Mendy. Hi, Eva. Hi, Lani. Good morning to everyone. Hi, Jess. Hope you're not melting. I am. Hi, Vicky. Let's just get right. I'm all very organised this morning. It won't last. Yes, very warm in England at the moment, having a bit of a heat wave. This witch does not like the heat, so suffering a little bit. But we shouldn't complain, really, I know. But there you go. And the dog doesn't like it either. It's too hot for him with his fur coat on. He's currently eating a piece of concrete at the moment that he's stolen from the garden. So there you go. Hi, Sue. Mendy has a snoring kitty. Yeah, the fan is on quite low. It's a little bit noisy, but there we are. You're right. Bit warm in a fur coat, isn't it? Yeah. Hi, Chris. Yeah. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, Eric says good morning. He's not going to go to sleep. Hopefully, yeah, he's going to sleep. Bless him. Hi, Melody. Yeah, Pete's here as well. He's working hard, melting in the heat. Lani says good morning. Good. For anybody that doesn't know, Eric is the dog and Pete is my husband. They're both here. Mendy, no, most houses in England don't have air conditioning. It's not something that we have. It's not normally this sort of heat, really. So it doesn't really, not really worth us having air conditioning. So no, most houses in England don't have air conditioning. So we are melting. Hi, Martina. Oh, Chris, 1 a.m. over there. Yes, definitely. Get some sleep. Watch the replay. Hi, Heather. Hi, Susie. Wow, lots of people this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. And because we're having a bit of a heat wave, and because we've just had the summer solstice, this morning we are working with Sun Magic. That's Coreopsis. Actually, as it's just opened in the garden. That was one we had a couple of years ago, that dark colour one. We've got a yellow, all yellow one in the garden at the moment, opened yesterday. So we're working with Coreopsis, which is Sun Magic. Hi, Jacqueline. Oh, thunder and rain in Scotland. Yeah, we're supposed to get rain later today, actually, which is Heather says good morning to. Yeah, we're supposed to get a bit of rain later today too. So what I'm working with today, I'll read the card for you in a sec, but I'm working with some magic from totally blasé book prompt from my Sun Magic book. So the spell that I'm working with today is coming from the Sun Magic book. So let's have a look at the card first. So this is from the Flower Magic Oracle deck. All the photos are taken from my own garden, so I'm very familiar with the flowers. That's Coreopsis. So let's see. Oh, Vicky's got a big storm. Yeah, it's very close. We are supposed to get rain, so you never know. Right, Coreopsis message. A bit of singing here. I want you all to sing along. The sun has got his hat on, hip, 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 hooray. How can you fail to be warmed and cheered by the magic of sunshine, or melted? Even on the dreariest of days, the sun is out there somewhere doing its very best to bring positive energy to you. Draw upon it to give you a boost. This is a happy, happy, happy card that brings positive energy, luck, and even a little bit of abundance too. This card says, yep, you can do it. Whatever it might be, put a smile on your face and approach it with a go-get-em attitude. And it will happen with bells and whistles on it. You have totally got this. Now make it happen. Hi, Karen. Sue, are my books on Talking Books? 3 of them are. Sue, 3 of my books are available in audio format. The Grimoire, Moon Magic, and Witchcraft into the Wilds are all available on audiobook format. Right, Coreopsis Magic. These flowers can be added to workings to help with any kind of risk-taking to boost a positive result. The flowers can be used to represent coins in money and prosperity magic. Add the petals to baths and rinses to create a fast luck or draw money blend. It carries a huge punch of masculine sun magic, so use it for any kind of energy, power, strength, and positive energy vibes. I like to add them to other mixes to boost the power of the spell as well. It is a total energy boost to any kind of magic. Apparently, Native Americans used Coreopsis, which is indigenous to that continent, to create a red dye for ceremonial use. The flower is picked whilst chanting and giving blessings to the plant. The leaves and flowers can be infused to create a tea that is said to ensure the birth of a female child. And in Chinese medicine, the plant has long been used as a tea to treat diarrhea, and is said to have multiple health benefits, including the management of diabetes. So there we are, Coreopsis, Sun Magic. That's the card for today. There's a, not really sure what the little lady's doing on there, but worshipping the sun perhaps, soaking up the sun rays, doing something, not sure what. So we're working with Sun Magic today. That's from the Flower Magic Oracle cards, available from all dealers, usual places. So right, we're working with Sun Magic today. So all of the information that I'm working with today, all the correspondences and the spell all come from the Sun Magic book. I've also got several of Sun Magic extracts from the book on the Patterson Pagan blog if you want to have a look as well. Although I don't like sitting in the sun, sniffing the flower. It is a very happy card, Maria. Yes, it is a very happy card. Although, obviously, being a witch, I work with the moon a lot, which is useful, having now written 2 books on moon magic. But I also like to work with the sun. I think it is forgotten a little bit, perhaps pushed to one side a bit. But I think it's just as powerful as the moon, and possibly more accessible in some cases. If you're not a night bird, then you can work with the magic of the sun throughout the day. And it has phases. So moon magic, obviously, you've got to wait for the phase throughout the month, waxing, full, waning, and the little bits in between. With the sun, you get all those phases in one day. So if you're impatient like me, it's brilliant. So we have the sunrise. Basically, when the sun wakes up, appears over the horizon. This phase is all about new beginnings, changes, health, employment, renewal, resurrection, and finding the right direction. It can also be very cleansing. Amy is waving. She's just joined me in the kitchen while helping herself to bits out of the treat box. Excellent. You go, Amy. Hi, Amy. Have a treat for me. Maria loves the moon. Yeah, the moon is brilliant, and it is so amazing to work with. But I like to work with both. I like a bit of balance. But once you've had the sunrise, you then get the morning between sunrise and lunchtime. This is when the sun is growing in strength. So it brings the magical power of growth, positive energy, resolutions, courage, harmony, happiness, strength, activity, building projects and plans, prosperity, and the expansion of ideas. Then you get high noon, which always sounds a bit like a cowboy film, when the sun reaches its peak in the sky at midday. Work magic for health, physical energy, wisdom, and knowledge. It's also a good time to pop your tools or crystals out for charging. Side note here, I do charge crystals in the full moon, but I think there's a lot of crystals that benefit more from being charged in the sun than the moon. I tend to put yellow, gold, and red crystals out in the sun, particularly things like sunstone, citrine, carnelian, anything like that I will charge in the sun rather than the moon. But don't leave them out there too long, because some of them do, like citrine, can fade in the sunshine. Then you get the afternoon, so after lunch towards dinner time. Not that I'm obsessed with food and my whole phases work by whatever meals I'm eating. The afternoon is when the sun is heading down and the energy now is good for working on business matters, communication, clarity, travel, exploring, and anything professional. And then we head to the sunset as the sun takes itself off down over the horizon. Work magic for removing depression, stress and confusion, letting go, releasing, or finding out the truth of a situation. So you've got all of the phases that you get with the moon, but in one day. And you're working with a slightly, well, quite a different type of energy. The moon and the sun are opposites. They are yin and yang. They are light and dark. So you're working with quite a strong, powerful, masculine energy. But you can work your spells the same way that you would with the moon. Mindy, since joining you ladies on the video chats, I've seen the sun more. Normally a night owl. Yes, yeah, I'm not. I don't like sitting in the sun particularly. I'm not a night owl. I am not really. I did in my youth stay up all night, but you know, I like to be in bed with a book by 8 o'clock now. But it is a different kind of energy. So it is very interesting to work with. And where I spend a lot of time out in the garden, I do work a lot of spells out there as well. So it, you know, bit of balance. To try it and see. The sun obviously is masculine. I think it's masculine anyway. A lot of people think it's masculine. Generally, and I say generally, the sun and the moon are seen as opposites, the male and the female. Moon being female, sun being male. A lot of myths and stories tell of chasing each other across the skies, never catching each other, which is obviously not going to happen. But the myths and stories that our ancestors put in place told of how they chased each other across the sky. Quite often the sun is seen as in a chariot, in a gold chariot being drawn across the sky. They are usually seen as husband and wife or brother and sister. However, there are some myths that do see them the other way around, in that the sun is female and the moon is masculine. I think go with what works for you. They've each got individual energies, and it's probably a bit stereotypical because the sun is seen as masculine and strength and power and energy, and the moon is seen as mysteries and emotions, which is very classic male-female. But you can assign male and female the other way around. If it works for you, then absolutely go for it. But you also don't have to assign any gender to it at all. You know, 2020, you can do what you like. Work with it in a way that works for you, basically. You will find that most of mine err on the side of female moon, masculine. Masculine sun. Yes, God and the goddess. Sun and the moon, God and the goddess, Maria. That is how I work. Just because I work like that doesn't mean you have to. Do what works for you. Got to go with what your intuition tells you. I am hay fever as well today, so excuse me if my voice goes croaky. So magical properties of the sun, you are working with all kinds of stuff. There's a huge list here, but I'll pick out some of them. Success, empowerment, ambition, enlightenment, goals, generosity, health, freedom, leadership, creativity, growth, self-confidence, energy, power. It's all the fiery type of goals and intents that you can work with. If you want to celebrate with the sun, obviously go outside and soak up the rays. Do not look at the sun directly. Please, please don't look at the sun directly because, you know, bad, ouchie. Sue, is that the water bottle you said does not leak? Yes, it is. It is a B water, BE water. And it has a crystal insert in it. But years and years and years of buying water bottles for children and teenagers that leak at school in their school bags. This one I've had for a couple of weeks now and it doesn't appear to leak. So yes, it's very nice. Not cheap, but it is very well made. There is a review on my personal blog of them if you want to have a look. But yes, go out and get the sun. not too long, obviously, and please do wear sunscreen. Drawing down the sun is an interesting one. If you're familiar with drawing down the moon, you can also do the same drawing down the sun. And there is a blog about that. I've written about that on my Patterson Pagan blog, and it is in the book. I wrote my own words for drawing down the sun for that. Place a yellow candle on your altar to represent the sun. My husband's put up a link. What's that a link to?
Talking books, Sue.
Oh, the link that Pete's just put there, Sue, is for the talking books, the audio books. Thank you. She's supposed to be working. Hay fever has been really bad this year, Karen. It has. Yeah, my husband's suffering terribly with it at the moment. I'm allergic to everything, so you know. Oh, Mindy, dust from the Sahara Desert. Yes, I saw that was coming across. That's going to be absolutely mad. Yeah, the animals are going to struggle with that as well. Maria's cat keeps rubbing her face on the phone. Hi, Luna. Actually, I forgot to say, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll see what I can do with them. About some magic or any witchcraft or me or anything you want to, please do pop them in the comments and we'll have a look and see if I can help. Right, celebrating the sun. Place a yellow candle on your altar to represent the sun. Start each day by facing the direction of the rising sun and offering up your thanks, which is quite a nice way to start the day. Charge distilled water in the sunlight. So as you would make moon water in the different phases of the moon, you can do exactly the same with water during the day and make sun water. Particularly good, I know we've just missed the summer solstice, but particularly good to charge on a solstice. But at any time during the day, particularly at the moment where the sun is really warm, you can make sun water. Hang sun catchers in your window. Charge your magical tools in the midday sun. Grow flowers and plants in your garden that are ruled by the sun and add sun herbs and foods to your meals. Every single herb and plant, it has an association of some sort and will be ruled by a planet. So a lot of them are ruled by the moon and the sun and all the other planets in the band. Create a sun magic ritual to be held outside. Put yellow cloth on your altar. Put yellow flowers in a vase. Create a sun crystal grid. Make your own set of solar runes. I posted a blog about that on my Witches and Pagans blog last week, I think. How to make your own solar runes. That's always fun to do. Research and meditate solar deities. Work with your solar plexus, which is down where your belly button is, and have a picnic outside. One of my favourites. Lots of different ways that you can connect with the sun. But I've got a little spell here for you from the Sun Magic book. I feel really ridiculous doing this, but that's where it is. It's from the Sun Magic book. So let's have a look at the spell. Sue, we call our home Bungalow Henge as the sun rises into our porch and straight down the hall into the living room. Fantastic! I like that. Brilliant name for it. That's excellent. Good morning, Maz. I like that. Bungalow Henge. Brilliant. That's made me laugh. I like that. Thank you. Unfortunately, we're working in the back of the house, which is the warmest part of the house. Right, so you will need for this spell, actually there's two spells I'm going to be working with. I suggest you work both of them. One is a sunset releasing spell and the other one is a sunrise fresh start spell. I think whenever you want to bring new things in, you need to let go of the old stuff first. So for me, this works by you start the night before on the sunset, you work your releasing spell. You go to sleep, you get up the next morning and you work your sunrise fresh start spell. So for each one, you will need 4 candles. 4 candles. If anybody's a Two Ronnies fan, then 4 candles should make you smile. If you've never heard of it, look up Two Ronnies 4 candles. Just totally thrown myself now. So 4 candles, colours of your choice. We're starting with the sunset releasing spell. Obviously it's not the sunset now, so you have to pretend that that it's the sunset. You have to pretend it's this evening and the sunset. 4 candles, colours of your choice, but suggest the colours of a sunset. So I've gone with yellow, orange, pink and red. If you don't have coloured candles, white ones are absolutely fine. You need 4 slips of paper. I know Maria gets the 4 candles joke. 2, 3, 4 pieces of paper. Oh, these are just slips off a notebook. You can use pieces of any kind of paper that you want to. Yeah, 2 Ronnie's a classic, Lani, from my childhood. Right, let's move all this out of the way because we need that cauldron. I'm going to add to this. You can do it straightforward with just the 4 candles. I'm going to laugh every time now. So I'm going to start with just the 4 candles. You can work it with just these 4 candles. You could, if all you've got is 1 white candle, you could work it with that as well. But I've gone with the colours of the sunset for this. You need to write on each slip of paper something that you'd like to let go of, because we're doing a releasing spell. So as the sun goes down, it's going to take everything with it. So things that you want to release. And I haven't thought about this beforehand, so I might just make stuff up if you're not looking. Things you want to let go of. I don't know. What do I want to let go of? Karen loves the 2 Ronnies, always makes a laugh. Yeah. So, right, releasing. So you might want to let go of fear. You might want to let go of anger. You might want to let go of, you might want to let go of the menopause. That one can kick its bottom out the window. And you might want to let go of, debts. We like that. Let's get rid of them too. Whatever you want to let go of. Yeah, menopause, Heather. Maria, menopause. Yep, I've done it. Look, menopause. Oh, you know me so well. So 4 slips of paper. Karen, my fat wobble. No, you don't want to let go of that. Embrace it. You want to be curvy ladies. I've got lots of fat wobble too. Right, I did have 2 queen cakes yesterday. My husband went,
look at me.
You brought them home. And I had to eat them. Anyway, 4 things you want to release, 4 things you want to get rid of. I'm going to add to this some herbs and some crystals because I do, because that's what I want to do. You've got to trust your intuition. You don't have to add these. There are lots of crystals that are associated with the sun. Martina wants to let go of her hubby when he's a pain. Not sure we want to get rid of him forever though, Martina, do we? That would not be good. We all have our moments. So I've got a really, really long list here of crystals. They're all in the book. But there's curvy and wobbly. It's all good, Sue. It's all good. I'm going to put a huge piece of citrine in the center. And I'm also, citrine is positive energy, joy, success, wealth, abundance, manifestation, will, perseverance, creativity, imagination, clarity, meditation, strength, goals, inspiration, and warmth. It's a really, really good all-rounder, citrine. Very, very useful crystal to have. And I'm also going to put tiger's eye. I've got a rough piece of tiger's eye here, which is quite interesting. And I'm going to put that one in the center as well. This combines sun and earth energy, so it's quite a useful one. It's used to transmit power to the sun god Ra, and it's for success, energy, power, spirituality, attraction, luck, money, wealth, truth, courage, strength, passion, vitality, clarity, joy, grounding, understanding, balance, insight, will, centering, information, divination, and protection. See, that's a good bargain there. What are you squeaking for? So I've got my 2 crystals in the center, and now I'm going to add some herbs to it. Again, you don't have to. It's just because that's how I like to work. There are lots of herbs and foods ruled by the sun. Martina loves citrine and tiger's eye. Orange carnelian, yeah, orange calcite would be really good as well. But there's lots and lots. Goldstone, clear quartz, sunstone, topaz, gold if you've got a bit of gold lying around. Ruby, rutilated quartz, garnet, pyrite, topaz, amber, and diamond. So lots to choose from. But as always, trust your intuition. Go with what you've got. I realised that I've got the spell thing upside down, but never mind. It's the right way up for you guys. I'm going to add some bay because I really like working with bay. It's really good for protection, purification, strength, power, healing, creativity, spirituality, psychic powers, and it has the element of fire. So it's a real hot one to work with. So I'm going to add some bay in here. I grow bay in the garden, but I've also got some from the Asian supermarket because they're much bigger leaves. And I'm going to add benzoin. It's one of the resins. It's good for, its element is air, but it is associated or ruled by the sun. And it's good for prosperity and purification. So it's actually really good to work with for, it looks really weird. It looks like little rocks. It's very good for releasing in this one. I'm also going to work with chamomile, which is good for sleep, dreams, love, calm, money, relaxation, purification, and balancing. And I'll just sprinkle a pinch of that on there. I didn't grow that. That's from Freya's Cauldron. Eric is watching. Yeah, he's trying to sleep, but he can hear me talking. So he is my dog. He follows me everywhere. He even sits outside the toilet door when I go in there. But there you go. Can't escape. Cinnamon, one of my favorites, a real fiery sun magic one. I use this a lot. Really good for success, healing, power, psychic powers, protection, love, focus, lust, and spirituality. Oh, and good for changes too. So that's a useful one to have whenever you're working personal magic. I'm just sprinkling it around the middle. Martina, can I use benzoin oil if I don't have resin? You can use essential oils for any of it if you don't have the herbs. I would actually dress the candles with the essential oil if that's what you prefer to use. I lean towards dried herbs and spices because that's what I prefer to work with. But if you're used to working with essential oils, absolutely that you can use those. So you mean you keep Eric outside let him in? He used to come in when he was a puppy, but now if I do let him in now, he then scratches the door to go back out again straight after. So pain in the butt. Orange I'm going to use now. I'm going to spray. I have got dried slices of orange, which you just slice and leave in the oven on a very low heat until they're all dried out. But I've got some here that I have ground. So I'm just going to, oh, that smells nice. Just going to sprinkle that on there. That's just dried orange peel. Orange is good for loads of stuff. Love, happiness, uplifting, generosity, purification, clarity, energy, fidelity. And of course, it's the element of fire as well. So got some rosemary here, which I grow in the garden. So we'll have a sprinkle of that. That is a really good fiery herb. Rosemary is protection, love, lust, mental powers, exorcism, purification, healing, and sleep. And another fire element one. And last but not least, have I done them all? Yep, no, I've done them all. There we go. So that's all my herbs in there. Let's make sure I get the spells around the right way. So, we've got our herbs, we've got our crystals, we've got our slips of paper. Let's light the candles. I'm actually going to grab another candle. There's a little story here. I have a candle here That's in its own little special candle holder. I went to the Untitled Festival this year for the first time with the gang, and it's run by Dave the Bard and his lady Kerry. They'd been over to America, and Kerry had been to a group session with a load of lovely ladies. And they had a main central candle there that had been lit from Bridget's flame and blessed by the Dalai Lama. From that candle, she let everyone that was at the festival light their own candles. And the very lovely Heather nipped out, went across the shop, bought a pack of candles and lit one for each of us from the main central Bridget candle. So that's what this candle was lit from. So I'm actually going to use this to light these candles because she's fire, she's sun, she's creativity, she's a really fire element kind of goddess. So you don't, obviously it doesn't matter what you light it from. So let's light them. So we're lighting each one. So you've got your candles lit. So let's start with the first piece of paper. This is ready, so don't set fire to anything. Maria loves Rosemary. It is a really useful one, so easy to get hold of, and covers all sorts of different intents. It's absolutely brilliant. So I've got my slip of paper. I'm going to light it from the first candle. Now I'm working from the left to the right. It's up to you. If you feel that you need to light from a different candle, do it. But you might like to say a chant each time or just request out loud what your intent is. So with the releasing of the sunset, let go of my intent, and then we'll light it and drop it in here. Oh, that's burning slowly. That's the menopause one. It's taken a bit of a long time to burn. And then we light the next one. You can see there, back a bit. Hello to Portugal. I have been to Portugal a very long time ago. Beautiful country. So I'm lighting the second one from the second candle. And I will ask that the sunset releases my intent. And then the third one, I'm going to light from the third candle without setting fire to myself, and ask that the sunset releases my intent. And then the last one from the fourth candle. And I ask that the sunset releases my intent. And then you let those burn out and watch the sun go down. Once you finish the four of them, you can say something as the sun sets below the horizon. The end of my woes, ready for the beginning of a new day, or something far more poetic than that, because poetry isn't my forte. Mendy, the gods are saying, nope, you get to keep the menopause. Yep, thanks, Mendy. Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, flames, Heather, we like flames. So we burnt those four. So now you have to snuff the candles out, but you snuff them out in reverse. So lots of smoke. I'm sorry, Eric. Eric's going. He's just, no, I'm not putting up with that. So that's your sunset spell. Tip the ashes on the garden or the compost. You can leave this in situ. You don't have to have this set up that I've got. You can have 4 separate candle holders. It's entirely up to you. Use whatever you've got. So I'm going to take these candles out now because that's the sunset spell done. No, I wouldn't use the candles again. It's up to you whether you refresh the crystals and the herbs, see how you feel. But you go to sleep then, and the next morning you get up. Put that lid on. The next morning you get up and you can work your sunrise spell. So this is all about fresh starts. So I say you can refresh this if you want to. I'm going to leave it in place because it's all ruled by the sun. And I think it all kind of ties in a little bit. So I'm going to use 4 candles now for the sunrise. Now I've got these in little individual ones. It's entirely up to you what you use. I've got four candles, colours of your choice, but I'm looking at the colours of the sunrise now. Mendy, what do you think about some that say you have a snuffer to put out the candles? Do you know, when I first started on this pathway many years ago, I had a candle snuffer because I was always told that you shouldn't blow candles out because you'll, damage the spell or upset spirit or for whatever reason. So I did religiously snuff all my candles out. But whether it's because I grew older or lazier or what, I don't know. But I stopped using the snuffer and I do blow the candles out and I haven't had any problems whatsoever. I think you have to trust your intuition on this one. If you prefer to snuff the candle out, then absolutely. You can pinch it out if you're feeling really manly and brave, or you can just blow them out. Go with your intuition on this. I personally, in all the years I've been doing this, haven't had any adverse effects from blowing them out rather than snuffing them. So I think it's a personal choice. You have to go with what works for you. But intuition, trust it. What do you do with the candles if you can't use them again? Well, I've taken them out because I'm only doing this quite quickly, Maria, but I would suggest that you sit with the candles lit and watch the sun go down. So by the time that's kind of happened, your candles will have burnt down anyway. So you should have just little candle stubs, throw them away. I wouldn't use them for another spell. And I've blown them out now because I'm doing this here for you. But if you're doing the spell properly, then spend a little bit of time with it and watch the sun go down and let the candles burn a bit lower. I blow them out anyway because this is wood and wooden candle holders burn if the candle gets too low. Mendy, I do too. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Yeah, I think it has to be how you feel about it. It's a personal choice. Yeah, you can bury them too. Bear in mind that it's wax and it doesn't really decompose very well. It will eventually, I'm assuming. Right, so let's start with the next day. You go to bed, you go to sleep, you wake up. Sunrise. This is all about fresh starts. So I've got candles that represent the sunrise. So I've got a yellow one, a white one, a pink one, and a pale blue one. So that's my sunrise candles. You can't really see the colours in the sun. It's so bright here because the sun's coming in the window. So it's all left in place. Now we're starting with the sunrise. You need 4 more slips of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you have to write things that you want to draw to you. Because this is a sunrise, it's all about fresh starts, new beginnings. So this is about things that you want to bring into your life, or projects you want to start, or positive things you would like to bring into your life. So let's go with good health. And prosperity, that's always good. Prosperity. Happiness. And friendship. So positive things that you want to bring into life. If you're looking at starting a new project, if you want to, if you've got a contract for something, or you're starting a new business, you could work with that as well. It's about fresh starts. It's about bringing new positive things into your life. So you need your 4 slips of paper. Refresh your crystals and your herbs and oils if you choose to. Mendy, so it's like full moon and new moon. It's more like waning moon to new moon. So the sunset is the waning moon. It's a time to get rid of things. It's time to release things. And then the sunrise is the new moon. Have a good day, Martina. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, it's more waning moon and new moon. But you just do it, within 24 hours. So you don't have to be patient. So we're working with the 4 candles again. So I'm going to light them from this candle again. You don't have to. You can light it from a match or a lighter or whatever you want. So we light the 4 candles. That one didn't want to go out. Really? Misbehaving. So then we make lots of flames and smoke again. So you start with your 4 bits of paper. You pick the first one. You light it from the first candle. Put it in it doesn't have to be a cauldron. If you haven't got a cauldron, you can use an old casserole dish or an old bucket. As long as it's fireproof, it doesn't matter. So you could say, with the power of sunrise and fresh starts for my intent. Then you take your second one and you light it from your second candle. With the power of the sunrise and fresh starts for my intent. And then you take your third one. With the power of the sunrise and fresh start for my intent. And then you take your fourth one. You light it from the fourth candle. With the power of the sunrise and fresh starts for my intent. And then you let those burn out. And once you've done all 4, you could say something along the lines of, as the sun begins to rise, new beginnings and fresh starts I surmise. My brilliant poetry skills there. And then I would suggest that you leave the candles burning and you watch the sunrise come up. So by the time the sunrise has come up, you should have just little candle stubs left. But I am going to blow them out now so I don't set fire to myself when I'm talking to you. But when you snuff them out, you do it in reverse order. I would take the crystals and cleanse them so that I can use them again. And I would take all the herbs and I would make an incense blend, a sun incense blend out of it, just so that it doesn't get wasted. But you can just put it in the compost. Leela, I reuse them. For me personally, as a principle of sustainability and because of a low budget, we can mark the candle with a pin for each spell, and when it gets to that, we blow or snuff them out. Then we pass them for sage smoke or selenite. Yes, if you're on a low budget, obviously you have to be a little bit creative. I personally wouldn't use a candle again for a different spell. So I wouldn't use a candle that I've used for a happiness spell to then use it for a banishing spell. I wouldn't use a prosperity candle that I'd used a prosperity spell for a love spell. I think the energies get too confused. That is the general belief behind it, is that the spell has been charged and used for a specific intent. So to then use it for something else, the energies get too confused. I think if you're on a budget, then birthday cake candles are brilliant because they're much smaller and they burn out quickly, and you can use them just one for each spell. You don't have to use 4 candles for this spell. You could use just 1 candle and light it, each one of them from 4, with each one of your slips from the 1 candle. If you are on a budget, then use all white candles. They're often quite cheaper. But if it works for you, then absolutely go with it. I don't personally like to mix the energies. But for this spell, I mean, I've snuffed them out because I'm sitting here going through it with you. But for this spell, you would actually take a bit longer because you would sit and allow the candle to burn throughout the sunrise and throughout the sunset. Yeah, Sue, Kids' birthday cake candles are absolutely brilliant. They're cheap and cheerful. You can get them in all different colours and they burn out quite quickly. Can they be melted down to make another candle? I think they still hold the energy, Maria, is my thoughts on it. If you've got main altar candles and you've sort of used them, or scented candles or various things, you can melt them down. One of our lovely friends does that. She takes the leftover candles, melts them down and makes them into little tea lights. But I think if you're working with spell candles, then you are infusing the candle with that specific intent. Particularly if you dress the candle with oil as well, you are sending that specific intent into that candle. So it's going to have that energy with it. But it's up to you. If you've got to trust your intuition on this one, and obviously your budget as well. But I say you don't need to use 4 candles. You could just use 1 for this. But I would burn them right down. Burn them down as you watch the sun set, and burn them right down as you watch the sun rise. But you absolutely have to trust your intuition on this, and again your budget as well. If you don't have lots of candles, then you could just light them from one central candle. But yeah, because I'm infusing everything with the energy, specific energy, I don't like to confuse it. But absolutely up to you. You have to follow your intuition and go with what works for you. There is no right or wrong. Magic is very personal, and the way you work your magic is very personal. So it's up to you. I don't tend to have this type candle left, because when I'm working a spell, I'll burn the whole candle down, which is why I use these smaller spell candles. I wouldn't use a taper or a pillar candle because it takes way too long to burn. So I tend to use the smaller candles because they do generally burn out during the length of a spell. Could you melt down the stubs and mold into a talisman for your altar? That would work really well, Heather. You could take these candles or the stubs. Bear in mind, I've only done this for demonstration purposes. You won't have much of the candles left when you work the spell properly. You could melt all the stubs together and make them into a sun talisman for your altar. But you've got 4 different here, because you've got the spell from the sunset, which is releasing, and you've got the spell from the sunrise, which is bringing good things to you. So 2 different intents there. Yep, tea lights are pretty cheap as well, although they do take much longer to burn. Yeah, birthday cake candles are brilliant. I get all of these from Freya's Cauldron. They are actually called spell candles. You can get them from Etsy and all over the place, because they don't take very long to burn, and you can get them in lots of different colours. But birthday cake candles are cheap and cheerful, and they don't take very long to burn. So you would burn your candles down. You'd watch the sunrise. You'd watch the sunset. Sprinkle the ashes on the earth afterwards, and use your bits of herbs and spices to make an incense blend with. And cleanse your crystals, and you can reuse them again. Yeah, these ones do burn down quite quickly. Not even 20 minutes usually. But that's the idea of working a spell, a releasing spell with the sunset, and then a fresh start spell with the sunrise. So that's working with 2 different phases within a 24-hour period. It's about working with the sun as you would the moon, really. The sunset is the waning, and the sunrise is the waxing. So very straightforward, very simple. Use coloured candles if you want to. Use 1 candle if you prefer. It's entirely up to you. And again, you don't need a fancy board. You could just use whatever you've got to hand. So that's the sunrise and the sunset spell. Again, the day, the 12-hour period of the day, has all of the phases in it, right from sunrise right through the day. So midday would be the equivalent to the full moon phase. Mendy wonders if you could cut a candle so you have smaller pieces. Yeah, it is possible. You can cut a candle. You have to do it very carefully, and it does flake a little bit. But yes, you can do it. Absolutely. Let's say these spell candles only last about 15-20 minutes anyway, so But yeah, if you had a bigger one, you could certainly cut it. Absolutely, no problem. Yeah, we like budget ideas, definitely. Any more questions? Any more questions on sun magic or things in general? A reminder that was the card for the day. Coreopsis Sun Magic. I will put all of this spell magic on the Pater's Pagan Beneath the Moon blog, which sounds funny, putting sun magic on the moon blog, but I will. It's all about working in a different way, I think. If you have got a spell, quite often if you want to work it with the moon phase, it might not be the right moon phase for another week or two. So if you work it with the time during the day, you can do it on that same day. A different way of thinking, really, different way of working, perhaps. So any more questions? We have does it have to be right at sunrise and sunset? I think the idea is that you watch the sun rise above the horizon and you watch the sun go down below the sunset. But no, I would, we've all got busy lives. So yeah, thereabouts would be all right. Morning, Leslie. Hi, Lee. Use a hot knife to cut the candle. Yeah, brilliant. That would work very well. And probably a pair of scissors just to snip the paper in the middle. But yes, hot knife would work very well. Hi, Leslie. You're allowed to sleep in. We have a Waffling Witches chat focused on Book of Shadows. Creating, decorating, working with your Book of Shadows, and that is in July. Looking at my calendar to see when it is.
26.
26. Thank you. 26th of July. 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. UK time on the 26th of July over in the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook group. Myself and the Kitchen Witch Hearth Guardians will be chatting about how to create, decorate and work with your Book of Shadows, and obviously answering any questions that you might have as well. And then heading over to August, the 23rd, Sunday 23rd of August at 4 p.m. UK time, I'm doing a live curative magic chat over on my author Facebook page to coincide with the release of my next book, my first book with Llewellyn, which is Curative Magic. So I'll be doing a live chat and working some magic from that one. So lots of bits and pieces happening. Children of Artemis have a lot of live chats going on Saturday, every other Saturday, I think. So do check out their page as well. Pagan Federation have a lot of online stuff going on as well. Lots happening. So tarot question. Oh, okay. Positive ideas for negative card, King of Sword reverses. Positive. Oh, so did you pull the King of Cards? Need coffee. Did you pull the King of Swords in reverse? And it's worrying you. Why is it worrying you? Would be my question. I think it depends whether you actually work with reverse cards. I don't work with reverse cards when I read the tarot. But yes, you pulled the King of Swords for reverses. Now, I think with swords, it's all about headology. It's all up here. It's all mental stuff. Not necessarily, well, no tarot is actually, it's only a predicted outcome, isn't it? It's only guidelines. I'm assuming it's worrying you. I would say don't let it for a start. Reverses happen on occasion. In fact, they don't tend to with mine because I don't tend to work with them. My cards are always upright. It's up here. So I think there's 9 out of 10 tarot cards I pull come out reversed. I think that you need to sort your tarot cards all up the right way and stop messing about with them. Keep them all up the right way and tidy and they won't come out reversed. Sorry, I am joking. Yeah, I think with swords, it's all about headology. I think swords is quite often about the stuff that's going on in your head. So it's not stuff that's necessarily going to happen, but it's stuff that you think is, and you're giving it energy, but you're giving power to that reversed King of Swords card now because it's worrying you. I think you have to let go of that. Not easy, I know. Did you pull? No more play. Yeah, so no more playing Snap with your tarot cards. It is entirely up to you, Sue. I don't work with reverses, but I do think, as I say, with swords, it's often what you think. Your head and your brain often overthink things that aren't actually there. I would try pulling another card to lay on top of it to see what the actual problem is, to see if you can get some clarity for it. Yeah, Mendy, tarot is guidelines. There isn't a negative. They just need you to focus on the issue. Yeah, I think tarot is a guideline, and it's all suggestions and possibilities. It's not written in stone. Absolutely not written in stone. But particularly with the swords suit, I think a lot of it is what your brain playing tricks on you, is what you think rather than what is actually reality. But yes, I would suggest pulling another card and laying it over the top of it to see get a bit of clarity on it. Hopefully that helps. Wasn't sure it came out exactly right, but Leslie, did you? Oh, the book. No, I didn't, Leslie. I'm writing that down now, and I will look it up for you. It was a menopause book, wasn't it? Thank you for reminding me. I'll type it in the comments afterwards. I have to write stuff down, otherwise I forget. I will look that up for you. Maria, yes, it's Ronald Hutton doing his talk on the Children of Artemis YouTube channel this Saturday. Always worth listening to. Very, very nice man. But yeah, Sue, stop playing Snap with your tarot cards. Hopefully that's helped, Sue, with your swords tarot. Just pull another card and see where it goes. Thank you very much, Melody, for joining us. Lovely to see you. So, unless there's any more questions, I have managed to waffle for an hour today. Not quite as bad as Waffling Witches this week, when I misread the time and we talked for an hour and a half. No one told me. I will be back again next week. If anyone would like me to talk about or demonstrate anything in particular, please do let me know. I'm happy to accommodate. And it also helps because sometimes I run out of ideas. Please do keep an eye on the Facebook pages for the different things that are coming up. If anybody is struggling with anything, needs any help with witchcraft, with your journey, with your pathway, with anything, myself and the Kitchen Witches are all here to support you. You are never alone. Please do message us. Don't struggle. Thank you so much to everyone for joining me as usual. You guys are absolutely brilliant. I'd love to see your photos if you try the sunset and or the sunrise spells. Be absolutely brilliant. So that's about it for today, I think. Sue, it's a sheer joy watching. Oh, bless you, Sue. I love it. It's the energy comes from all of us. Yeah, energy comes from all of us. So without you guys, I'd be sitting here talking to myself and it'd be really boring. So thank you so much for joining me. It is my absolute pleasure. Leslie, no, we didn't talk about Hugh Jackman or the Wombles today, Leslie. Seriously, if you want to talk about biting Wombles and Hugh Jackman, then you need to watch the Waffling Witches replay from this week. Maria, scrying. Yes, scrying would be excellent, Maria. We've had several. I'm writing that down. Look, we've had several questions about that. I will certainly have a look at scrying. That's no problem whatsoever. But thank you very much. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Lani. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Absolutely lovely of you. Thank you, as always, for your support. Have a very fabulous rest of the day and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you, Maria. You're very welcome. So thanks, guys. Take care. Be safe. Don't get sunburnt or sand desert blasted wherever you are. And have a very lovely weekend.